Hi, I'm Pat Patterson. These are the 6 steps you can use to find your ancestral home. Now, with a name like Patrick Patterson, I always assumed I was Irish, but it turns out I'm mostly Scottish. And my grandfather came directly from Scotland through Ellis Island and then to Los Angeles, where he became a red card conductor. So this is our story of the Highlander comes to California. One of the ways I started exploring for this story was to get data. I went on Facebook groups, Scottish Genealogy, Scotland Records, Your Scottish Ancestor. People were so incredibly helpful. They sent me records, Davie in particular, sent me all these records from censuses in Scotland, the UK records. Much easier to access, I think, than US records, but it was incredibly helpful and started me connecting names and dates that I could do more research. I also went and found local resources, the Elgin Heritage Council. Scott Reed was incredibly helpful. He and I did a Zoom in advance to talk about my trip. And then the next thing I needed to find was an actual location to visit over there. So through Scott and the Heritage Council, I found out about the Northern Scot newspaper, which is a local newspaper. I contacted them. Turns out they were interested in genealogy as well, so they sent some reporters to cover our trip. But they also connected me with the person that owns my great-grandfather's hotel. A guy named Ron Farquharson. And he owns this hotel in Elgin that my great-grandfather had in the 1850s. The next thing I figured out was to just keep asking questions of everybody. One of the other things that turned out to be true is I needed a travel expert. I couldn't go online and figure out which hotel was which and how far the cities were, and it just became too much. I became overwhelmed. And because I was putting so much work into the family tree and the data and filming this for a TV show, I turned that over to a travel expert. AAA was very helpful with Brendan Travel. They specialize in Celtic trips, UK, Ireland, Scotland. So I recommend that if you can do it. I don't think it's that much more expensive, but it was a godsend. And last but not least is enjoying the trip. Now, not everybody can take a trip to Scotland, so you can do a lot of this via Zoom. I did much of the preliminary work on Zoom, phone calls, Facebook, so do that if you have to stay home. But in my case, we were able to take this trip, and it was with my 2 daughters. We filmed it for my TV show, and it was the trip of a lifetime. The big payoff was not only meeting Davie Innes, who had helped me so much, Scott Reed at the library, who had also helped me, but then going to see this hotel that I could imagine my great-grandfather running, and my grandfather maybe running around as a little boy helping out. What's the hotel now? Well, it's a themed nightclub. What's the theme? Downtown USA. It's about as USA as you get. Elvis, Maryland, Route 66. How's that for irony? But it was a ball to get there. And those are a few tips on how to find your ancestral home. Watch for our next episode. I'm Pat Patterson. Thanks for watching. Hi, it's Pat Patterson. Are you ready for a more creative and fulfilling second act? I know I was. So I wrote a book about it, Creative U-Turn, 9 Steps to Your New Creative Life and Career. It outlines my journey of leaving corporate America at age 55 to become a TV host, actor, and a senior model. It's an easy-to-follow plan that can get you where you want to go. Creative U-Turn. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Balboa Press, and other places. Or go to my website, patpatterson.net, and sign up for our free monthly workshops based on the book. So join me. Make your creative U-turn now.
Order your book today And join Pat Pattison by registering at patpattison.net for his free monthly workshop.